Listen very carefully, because what you're hearing right now is not a coincidence. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with an urgency that is louder than anything you've felt before. His presence is intense, almost like he is raising his voice, almost like he is trying to break through the confusion that has been surrounding you lately. If your heart started beating faster the moment you heard this, it's because your spirit recognizes the message before your mind does. Michael is saying you have made a serious mistake, one that has shifted your energy without you realizing it, and now you have a very small window to correct it before the weight of this misalignment settles into your path. He is not here to scare you, he is here to protect you, and his voice is echoing with power because the time is short. Something around you has been off. You've been sensing it but couldn't explain it. Maybe you've been feeling unusually tired, unmotivated, or disconnected from things that normally keep you grounded. Maybe someone's behavior has felt strange, or your intuition has been whispering that something doesn't feel right. These shifts weren't random. Something or someone caused your energy to slip out of alignment. Michael shows a moment, small, quick, unexpected, where you trusted too fast, shared too much, or allowed a connection that wasn't meant to come so close. You didn't make this mistake because you are careless. You made it because your heart is kind, open, and honest. And sometimes people or energies see that as an opportunity. But the problem is deeper. Your mistake created a doorway, a tiny opening in your spiritual field, and that opening allowed someone's energy to attach itself to you. It didn't come to destroy you, but it came to feed off you. And now your clarity, your peace, and your natural protection have all been affected. Archangel Michael has been trying to warn you through signs, repeating numbers, intense dreams, sudden chills, strange thoughts appearing out of nowhere. But you didn't fully hear him until now. That's why his tone is stronger today. That's why the message feels urgent, because the longer this energy sits with you, the harder it becomes to remove. Before we go deeper, take a breath. If you're listening to this right now, it means your soul is ready to hear the truth. And if you want to stay aligned with these divine warnings whenever they arrive, make sure you stay connected to this space. You may like this message, or comment if something resonates, or even subscribe so these messages reach you at the right time. If the energy ever guides you to use the super thanks button, do it only when your spirit feels called. Each action strengthens the flow of divine communication around you. Michael continues to show me the moment your energy shifted. It happened fast. You didn't notice it as a mistake then, but now the effects are visible. You've been feeling pressure in your chest, heaviness in your mind, or a strange emotional pull that doesn't belong to you. Your thoughts haven't felt like your own. Your decisions have felt clouded. You've been second, guessing yourself more than usual. These are not normal patterns. They are symptoms of a spiritual disturbance. Michael describes it as a thread tangled around your aura, tightening whenever you doubt yourself and loosening only when you become aware of what is happening. And now comes the part that explains the urgency. The mistake you made wasn't big, but the timing around it was. You are standing at the edge of a powerful shift in your destiny. A breakthrough, a blessing, a transformation that has been divinely preparing itself for months, is finally coming toward you. But this foreign energy, this spiritual attachment created by your mistake, is blocking the path. It is slowing your progress, dimming your intuition, and trying to delay your blessings. This is why Michael is raising his voice. This is why he is saying you have very little time. The correction must happen now, before the blessing reaches you, or else its arrival may get postponed. Michael's wings wrap around your energy as he speaks. He is not angry with you. He is protective. He is reminding you that your light is powerful, your purpose is important, and your spirit is too valuable to be influenced by someone who doesn't deserve access to your energy. He wants you to acknowledge the mistake, not with guilt, not with fear, but with awareness. Because awareness is the first step in closing the doorway and taking back your spiritual strength. He stands ready with his sword of light, prepared to cut the attachment, but he needs your understanding before he can act. This is only the beginning. This is the moment where the real correction starts. And from here, things will get. Stay very calm as you listen to this chapter, because Archangel Michael is about to reveal something you were not fully aware of. The disturbance you've been feeling, the heaviness, the confusion, the emotional imbalance. All of it is connected to a presence around you that has been quietly influencing your energy. Michael shows that this presence is not always a person standing in front of you. Sometimes it is an energy, a thought, a connection, or even a memory tied to someone who no longer deserves access to your spirit. And in your case, it seems like this presence slipped in at a moment when your heart was open and your guard was lowered. Someone around you has not been truthful. Their words may have sounded supportive, kind, or friendly, but their energy was not aligned with their words. Michael reveals that this person has been masking their true intentions. They didn't come to destroy you, but they came with a quiet hunger to take your peace, your attention, your emotional strength. You may have even felt drawn to them at first, thinking they were harmless or even helpful. But underneath that surface, their energy was draining you little by little. They noticed your light, your intuition, your purity, and instead of appreciating it, they tried to absorb it. Michael shows a moment where you shared something personal, vulnerable, or meaningful with this person. It might have been a fear, a dream, a plan, or a feeling. You did it innocently because your heart operates with honesty, but they didn't protect that information. Instead, they carried it with a kind of weight that began to influence your aura. Their thoughts about you, whether jealousy, confusion, admiration mixed with envy, or emotional dependency, attached to your field, and that attachment is what spiraled into the mistake Michael mentioned earlier. This hidden enemy isn't always someone with dark intentions. Sometimes, it's someone who carries insecurity, emotional chaos, or unresolved bitterness, and when they connect with you, their energy spills into your space. You simply weren't meant to carry their weight. But because your heart didn't notice the difference at that time, the connection deepened just enough to disturb your spiritual balance. Michael has been observing this energy silently, waiting for the right moment to bring it to your awareness. And now, in this chapter, he reveals the truth. You have been giving access to someone who has not been giving the same purity. Before moving forward, pause for a moment. If you're feeling the message begin to match something in your recent life, that's your intuition waking up. And if you want to continue receiving each chapter exactly when you need it, stay connected to this channel. You can subscribe, comment, like, share, or use super thanks if you feel spiritually guided. These actions help keep your energy aligned with the divine messages meant for you. Only do them when your heart feels the call. Now Michael shows something deeper. This person, this hidden energy, wasn't just draining you, they were shaping the way you felt about yourself. They may have made you doubt your decisions. They may have responded in ways that left your heart confused. They may have acted distant, hot and cold, or unpredictable. Their energy carried uncertainty, and that uncertainty began to spread into your life. Suddenly you found yourself second, guessing things you normally feel confident about. Suddenly you felt more tired, more emotional, or more sensitive than usual. Michael says this is not your true self. This is the influence of someone else's burden that attached to your spirit. They saw you as light. But instead of standing beside that light, they leaned on it. Their dependence became your weight. Their confusion became your confusion. Their emotional instability began bleeding into your aura. Michael reveals one more truth. Your intuition tried to warn you. You felt something wasn't right. You felt drained after talking to them. You felt uneasy without knowing why. You noticed your mood shifting in ways that didn't make sense. These were your spirit's signs, gentle signals that your energy was being tampered with, unintentionally or intentionally. But because you care deeply, you didn't want to assume anything negative. That is why the mistake remained invisible, until now. And now comes the part that changes everything. Michael says this hidden enemy, this energy, has reached its limit. It cannot go further unless you allow it. Your awareness in this moment breaks its hold. The more you recognize the truth, the more Michael's protection surrounds you. This chapter is the moment where the mask falls. The presence that was draining you is exposed, and once exposed, its power weakens. Michael is preparing to take action. The energy around you is shifting, and the doorway that opened through your mistake is about to be closed. Listen closely, because what Archangel Michael is revealing in this chapter goes much deeper than you expected. The mistake you made didn't just create discomfort, It created a ripple effect across your emotional, spiritual, and even physical world. You may think the effects were small or temporary, but Michael is showing that the consequences were silently shaping your path. The reason he is speaking so urgently now is because these consequences were beginning to manifest in ways you didn't fully recognize. And if he hadn't stepped in, the situation could have grown into something much harder to undo. Michael shows that your energy field was slowly becoming overwhelmed by emotions that weren't yours. You were absorbing feelings that didn't belong to your spirit: confusion, sadness, frustration, doubt. This is why your mood has been shifting unexpectedly. This is why you've been feeling tired despite resting, or restless despite having nothing on your mind. These weren't random emotional waves. They were signs that your aura was carrying weight that someone else had placed there. The more you ignored your intuition, the stronger this weight became. The more you tried to stay calm, the more the imbalance grew. And Michael is saying, this was never your burden to carry. You may have noticed yourself pulling back from people, feeling disconnected from your routine, or losing interest in things that once inspired you. This wasn't you changing, it was your energy reacting. Your spirit was trying to protect itself by withdrawing. When your vibration drops, your destiny timeline begins to shift. Decisions that were once clear become confusing. Opportunities that were meant to flow smoothly start slowing down. You begin questioning your path, your relationships, your purpose. Not because anything was wrong with you, but because your spiritual clarity was clouded. And this is exactly why Michael stepped forward with urgency. He shows that your destiny is moving toward a powerful phase, one of alignment, breakthrough, and divine favor. But the mistake you made created a detour, like a fog covering the road you were supposed to walk. You may have noticed delays recently, delays in opportunities, delays in communication, delays in progress. You may have felt like something is blocking your blessings, like invisible resistance is slowing you down. That resistance wasn't coming from the universe. It was coming from that energetic interference caused by your mistake. Before we go deeper, take a moment to breathe. If you want to continue receiving these chapters exactly when they're needed, stay connected with this space. You can subscribe, comment, like, share, or even use the super thanks button if your heart feels guided. These actions help your energy remain aligned with divine messages, but always do it only when your spirit calls you, not out of pressure. Now, Michael reveals something more subtle. The consequence of the mistake wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. Your intuition became dimmer. Your discernment weakened. You began second-guessing things you normally sense instantly. It's like someone placed a thin veil over your inner vision, making it hard for you to trust yourself. Michael shows that this veil was created by the energy that attached itself to you. It clouded your ability to detect its influence. It made you feel uncertain about things you normally feel confident about. It tried to disconnect you from your inner wisdom so you wouldn't notice the real issue. You may have also experienced sudden conflict or miscommunication with people you care about. That was another consequence. When your energy shifts, your relationships shift too. People begin reacting to your vibration, not your words. Opportunities that were aligned with your higher self begin hesitating around you. Even your creative flow or spiritual growth may have slowed down. These weren't coincidences. They were symptoms of an energetic distortion forming around you. Michael's tone becomes firmer here. He reveals that if this had continued for a few more weeks, you would have stepped into a timeline filled with unnecessary challenges, confusion, and emotional heaviness. Not because it was your destiny, but because the interference would have directed your decisions towards situations that weren't meant for you. You would have found yourself questioning your purpose, losing confidence, or chasing things that weren't aligned with your soul. This is why Michael stepped in now. This is why his message came through so urgently. But here's the part that brings clarity. Nothing is ruined. Nothing is lost. You are not late. Your destiny is not damaged. Michael says you caught this interference at the perfect moment, right before it could affect your long-term path. Your awareness in this moment is clearing the fog. The spiritual veil is lifting. The connection that was draining you is weakening, and your energy is beginning to rise again. Michael is preparing to guide you into the next phase where the correction begins. The real healing is about to start. And the doorway that opened through your mistake is finally ready to be closed. Archangel Michael has been preparing you from the very beginning. The energy is different now, sharper, clearer, more focused. Michael is no longer describing the problem. He is standing in front of it, sword raised, ready to correct what has been affecting your spirit. He says the window is small, the alignment has to happen immediately. And every second you're listening to this message is part of the correction itself. Your awareness has opened the doorway for divine intervention. And now Michael is stepping fully into your energy field to restore what was disturbed. He begins by showing a vision of your aura. It looks like a soft, radiant field of light, but there is a thin, dark thread wrapped around it. Subtle, almost invisible, but still strong enough to influence your emotions and clarity. That thread came from the mistake you made, the moment you allowed someone's energy too close. But now Michael moves his hand, and the light around you starts rising. The cloudiness in your spirit begins to lift. You may feel warmth, chills, or a sudden pressure easing from your body as you hear this. That is the energy shift beginning. The first step of the correction is recognition, and you've already completed that. Now Michael brings you into the second step, reclaiming your energy. He says your spirit has been scattered, pieces of your intuition, your focus, your emotional stability drifting away because of the energetic connection that attached to you. He calls those pieces back now. You may feel a pull inside your chest, like something returning home. That sensation is your power coming back to you. Those parts of you were never lost, just misplaced in someone else's emotional space. Michael gathers them and places them back into your aura, strengthening your spiritual center. Before moving deeper, he asks for one thing: presence. The more present you are, the faster the correction happens. If these messages consistently feel like they are meant for you, stay connected with this channel so these warnings reach you exactly when they're supposed to. You can subscribe, comment, like, share, or use super thanks only if your heart feels guided. These actions help create a clear spiritual pathway between you and the divine messages waiting for you. Michael now moves you into the third step, closing the doorway. This doorway opened when you made that mistake, when someone's energy slipped into your space because your guard was down. But the moment you became aware of it, that doorway began to shrink. Now, Michael places his sword of blue divine fire at the opening. The flame doesn't burn, it purifies. It dissolves anything that entered without your permission. He cuts the thread that wrapped around your aura. You may feel relief, sudden calmness, or a release inside your body. That is the moment the interference is disconnected. The next part of the correction is crucial, restoring your clarity. Michael lifts the veil that was covering your intuition. He shows your inner vision becoming brighter, sharper, clearer. The confusion you felt, the doubts, the emotional noise, all of it begins to fade. Your instincts, your most powerful spiritual tool, are returning to their natural strength. The fog that blinded your decisions is dissolving. You may feel your mind becoming lighter, your emotions becoming calmer, and your heart feeling more steady. That is your divine clarity returning. Michael now moves into the final phase of the correction, something only he can do. He places a shield of light around your aura. This shield isn't just protection. It is a reminder of your strength, a reminder that not everyone deserves access to your spirit, a reminder that your energy is sacred. This shield also blocks the person or energy that drained you from re-entering your space. Their influence is cut off. Their emotional pull no longer reaches you. Their confusion no longer blends with yours. You stand spiritually independent again, fully protected. As Michael finishes the correction, the countdown ends. The urgency you felt earlier transforms into calm. The pressure lightens. The vibration around you rises. You may feel a sense of peace, relief, or renewed strength. These sensations mean the interference has been removed, the doorway has been closed, and your path is realigning with your true destiny. Michael stands beside you now, silent but powerful. His message for this chapter is simple. You are safe again, your path is clear again, your spirit is yours again. The correction is complete, and now the truth of your destiny can be revealed. The energy around you has shifted. If you're feeling lighter, clearer, or more aware than before, it's because Archangel Michael has already completed the first part of your correction. But now comes the most important phase, the realignment of your destiny. This is the moment when everything that was blocked, delayed, or distorted begins to move back into its rightful place. Michael is not speaking through urgency anymore. His voice is calm, steady, and powerful, because the danger has passed. Now the focus is on rebuilding, restoring, and elevating your path to the level it was always meant to reach. Michael shows a vision of your destiny timeline, bright, golden, and full of potential. But the interference you carried caused parts of this timeline to scatter, like puzzle pieces pulled away from each other. That is why things felt disconnected. That is why you experienced delays, confusion, and emotional heaviness. But the moment Michael cut the energetic thread in the previous chapter, those scattered pieces began returning to alignment. Now, he guides them back into place, one by one. You may notice yourself feeling more balanced, more grounded, or strangely hopeful for no reason. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual alignment happening in real time. He now reveals something powerful. The blessing that was approaching you, the one that was blocked by the interference, is still waiting for you. It didn't disappear, it didn't leave. It paused, holding itself in the spiritual realm, waiting for the exact moment your energy became clear again. And now that your aura is restored, this blessing begins moving toward you once more. You may even feel a pull inside your chest, like your soul recognizes what's coming. Some people call it intuition, some call it excitement, but spiritually, it is your destiny calling you back. Before Michael moves further, he asks you to stay connected to the flow of divine messages. If these chapters resonate with your spirit, if they reach you exactly when you need them, then you can subscribe, comment, like, share, or use the super thanks button whenever your heart feels guided. These actions strengthen the energetic bridge that keeps you aligned with the warnings and blessings meant for your path. Michael now brings your attention to something that matters deeply: your emotional state. He shows that your emotions were the first thing affected when the interference entered your aura, and now they must be the first thing healed. He places a gentle glowing light over your heart center. You may feel warmth spreading through your chest. This warmth is not imagination. It's the cleansing of emotional residue left behind from the person who drained your energy. This process wipes away doubts that aren't yours, fears that weren't born inside you, and anxieties that were never meant to stay with you. As this healing continues, Michael begins reorganizing your inner guidance system. Your intuition becomes sharper, your thoughts become clearer, and your sense of direction becomes stronger. You'll notice that decisions you felt confused about suddenly feel simple. Paths that seemed blocked begin to open. Opportunities that felt distant start getting closer. This is because Michael is placing you back into the spiritual frequency you were always meant to operate from. Now Michael reveals a truth you weren't ready for earlier. The blessing coming your way is more powerful than you think. This blessing isn't just emotional or financial or spiritual. It's multidimensional. It affects your stability, your relationships, your confidence, and even your purpose. This blessing was designed to elevate you into a new phase of your life, but because your energy was being pulled down by someone else's burden, you couldn't receive it. The blessing required clarity, strength, and emotional freedom. And now that you have reclaimed your energy, the blessing is finally on its way. Michael also reveals that someone from your past, someone who once played a meaningful role in your life, will begin to feel the energetic shift happening within you. They may try to reconnect, reach out, or sense your rising vibration even from afar. But Michael advises you not to rush into emotional decisions. Your energy is still stabilizing. He wants your spirit to complete its restoration before you choose who stays and who leaves. Not everyone deserves to walk with you into the next chapter of your destiny. As this realignment continues, you may begin to notice subtle signs around you: your repeating numbers, sudden clarity, moments of peace, or unexpected silence from people who once drained you. These signs mean the interference has been removed, and Michael's protection is active around you. Your spirit is becoming stronger. Your path is becoming visible. Your destiny is becoming reachable. The atmosphere around you shifts the moment you step into this final chapter. It feels heavier, sharper. almost as if the air itself is waiting for your next decision. Archangel Michael stands before you now not as a distant guardian, but as a warrior of truth, here to deliver the last most important message of this entire journey. He looks directly into your spirit and speaks with a voice that feels like thunder wrapped in light. This is it, the moment everything begins or everything collapses. The choice you make after hearing this is the choice that will shape your destiny. You feel it immediately. That pull in your chest, that sudden clarity cutting through all confusion, that knowing that this message is not random. It was meant to find you right now, at this exact second. Michael shows you a vision. A path filled with light, and another path wrapped in shadows. The shadow path is what happens when you ignore your intuition, delay your decisions, or keep repeating the same patterns that have been hurting your spirit. Michael says you've already come dangerously close to choosing this path without realizing it. That is why the warning was so intense, why the energy around you has been restless. But then he shows you something else, a moment of breakthrough, a moment where everything changes because you finally choose differently. He reveals that the next 48 hours of your life hold a shift, a conversation, a decision, a message, or an opportunity that will appear suddenly. If your heart is open, you will recognize it. And if you step forward with courage, everything you've been praying for begins to move toward you, faster than you expect, Michael says. Your destiny is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for your decision to rise. He places a shield of light over your energy, sealing your spirit from negativity, draining the exhaustion you've been carrying, and strengthening your intuition to hear divine guidance clearly. As his wings open, golden particles move like sparks around you. This is the moment your spirit resets. This is the moment your timeline shifts. This is the moment your protection strengthens. If you felt this message pulling at your spirit, if something inside you whispered, "This is for me," then trust that Archangel Michael wanted you here for a reason. Stay connected to this divine journey, and let this space be your spiritual home. And if this message spoke to you, don't leave without letting your heart respond. Your energy supports this channel more than you know. May Archangel Michael stand before you, behind you, and beside you in every step you take from this moment onward. You were guided here, you were protected here, and your breakthrough begins now.